everyone and welcome back. I'm Emma from Spotlight Mining in collaboration with the Mining Network, and I'm joined today with Hashim Ahmed from Jaguar Mining, and we're here at the mining investment event of the North. So firstly, thank you for joining us today.
Pleased to be here.
So could we start by just having a brief overview of Jaguar Mining, the ticker, market cap, project location, that type of thing?
Yep, for sure. So Jaguar Mining is listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. We've been in operation for almost 20 years plus now. We have all of our operating assets are in Brazil. Both of them are very close to the current developed infrastructure. The combined production is approximately 90,000 ounces a year, and we've got two operating assets. The company is well located in the Iron Quadrangle area, which is something very similar to the Abitibi region in Quebec, and it's just less explored, there's less awareness about it, but this Iron Quadrangle area has been mined for almost 300 years. Started with the Portuguese mining back in the day. Almost 50 million plus ounces have been mined from this area, and it's becoming a very favorable zone for mining companies to invest in the future.
Brilliant, thank you. And your background is in what? So how did you get into Jaguar Mining?
I've been associated with the mining industry for the past 15, 20 years now. Initially coming from consulting towards mining, and then I worked at Barrick for 7 years, and then now almost 7-8 years at Jaguar. When I came to the company, it was of course in a very different place from where it is right now. Back in 2014, the company had just come out of bankruptcy protection. After I joined, we started to fix it brick by brick. It had three main issues. The company did not have a long life of assets. It had a huge debt on its balance sheet, and it was not making money. So it took us a while to fix things, but we have been very proud of our accomplishments in the past 4 or 5 years especially. The company is now debt-free. We are producing free cash flow, which we're investing in our land position. And we are also now have almost 4 to 5 years of reserve life and almost 10 years of resource life for our assets. So a big change story, same name, but a very different organization.
What does the production guidance look like for this year compared to 2021?
As I said, we are ideally a 90,000 ounce producer. That's our comfort zone. That's where we make, more positive operational and free cash flow. And that's the roundabout number that we will be producing for the next few years as well. Our vision is to create it and to create a growth story after that. We're already working on a large land that we hold. We have approximately 54,000 hectares in that area. So our plan is to invest in that. We also have 50% capacity on our plants, which are underutilized. So when you've got such a large land package and you've got underutilized plant facilities, you add them together, it's best for you to invest in your own land and bring that through organic growth. And so that's what we are really focusing on, to create a momentum, and it's going to take some time for us to get there, but a 90,000 ounce producer for the next foreseeable future, but then going on and bringing all those new deposits into production and increasing the production. Our aim is to organically grow over the next 4 to 5 years at a growth rate of 10% per year.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but reserves are about at 500,000 ounces, but the resource is actually a lot larger than that.
Yes.
And is it a priority to try and upgrade that size of the resource?
So with underground gold mines, you don't want to invest too much in reserves because that requires a lot of drilling and underground development. So your capital gets locked up if you have too long of a reserve life as well. So ideally, a company our size should have 10 plus in resources, 10 plus years, and a 4 to 5 reserve life. So that kind of a sweet spot is where probably we are right now. A few years ago we were not there, so one of the things we have done is to create that. I think as we go in future, our focus is going to be to increase the 10-year resources to probably go up to 15 years of resources. On the reserve life, I think 4 or 5 years is the right spot for us to go. You know, as underground mines are expensive, you don't want to lock in too much of capital by developing it too further. So I think you'll see a lot more growth on the resource side for Jaguar in the future, which eventually is going to turn into reserves as well as the time passes.
Thank you, understood. And could you run us through the capital structure of the company?
So the company is listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, as I said. We also listed on the OTC exchange in the US, so our investors in the US can also buy the stock. Jaguar currently has, if I would pick up the top 10 shareholders, they probably own 60% of the company. Our largest shareholder is Eric Sprott, he owns 48%. And then you've got a bunch of shareholders which range from 1 to 4% in that holding. So it's a tightly held stock. Our retail trading volume is 3 to 5%, which is, for a tightly held stock, it's pretty healthy. But our aim is to create a more diversified investor base. We plan to invest in our future growth story, and as part of that, if and when we do need to raise capital, we're going to diversify more on the investor side and bring in more retail investors, because the more retail investors you have, the healthier liquidity you have in terms of your stock as well.
And how much of a focus is in the exploration of pre-production assets?
So I would say, last year we invested almost $15 million into greenfield, or what we call greenfield exploration. It's not really entirely greenfield because we're pretty close to our current infrastructure. So it's kind of semi-green, semi-brownfield kind of a space. So we're gonna invest in that. We invested 10 to 15 million last year. Our aim this year, our budget this year is almost double that. So that's where our investment is going, to bring in and find new deposits. Hopefully we are able to find a mega deposit in the region and bring that into production as well in the future years.
And your presentation mentions excellent potential for M&A. Could you expand on that?
Synergistically, Brazil is the best place for us to grow organically or through M&A. It's a large country. It's got iron ore, gold mining. Now there's a lot of lithium mining there happening as well. It is very mining friendly. The companies the likes of Anglo Gold and Vale, these are large global mining companies, and all of these are home based in Brazil. So it's got a workforce, a very technologically advanced, I would say, workforce, and a young generation who wants to go into mining as well. So our first instinct is to grow in Brazil through M&A. So within that space, we are looking at a lot of mining opportunities. We're looking at opportunities which are synergistically going to add to our portfolio. Without naming names, of course, there are a few of them which are in the Iron Quadrangle. It's a greenstone belt prospective region of Brazil. So you've got, the likes of Anglo, Kinross, and Equinox, who are already operating in that region. And then you've got northern Brazil, which has got a couple of really nice acquisition targets that we are looking at as well. And so we are very closely looking at acquiring, a bunch of targets. I won't name names right now, but these are the companies which we can consolidate under us and also add value to their shareholders as well, but primarily focusing on Brazil.
And over the past 12 months as a company, what key milestones are you most proud of, would you say?
So one of our key milestones, is the investment in the growth, right? as I said before, the company was in the past dealing with a lot of debt and historical legacy issues, which we solved. So a lot of our cash flow went in solving them. It's for the first time that we are investing so heavily in growth.
Yeah.
And so with the growth story, that's a big milestone because we think we are changing the future of this organization. But that growth story is going to take its time.
Yeah.
And that's why what we've started to do is we've started to, since the past 8 quarters now, we have been paying dividend to our shareholders as well, which is yielding anything between 4 to 5% at current share prices that we have. So, that's a game changer because the company has never paid dividend, and we are paying dividends because we want our investors to stay with us and be part of the organic growth story. And at the same time, until that big jump comes in the organic growth story, get a good return on their investment through dividends. So a very different, I would say, milestone for the company in the past 2 years as compared to if I would go and look back. So we're very proud of that accomplishment as well.
As you should be. It sounds like you've come quite a long way. And so continuing from that, for investors, what do the next 12 months look like? Well, what are you looking forward to most?
So looking at M&A closely, at today's share prices, all companies are undervalued, especially in the gold mining space. They are more so. At such points, you should be shopping for assets, and that's what we are doing. We're looking at synergies within the region. We're also looking at what we can in terms of improving our own costs, what we can do. Inflation is one of the biggest challenges that all mining companies are facing. We're experiencing anything between 10 to 15% inflation within Brazil in general annually. So I think for the next 12 months, while we look at growth opportunities and M&A, our focus is to trying to preserve our margins and not let those lose out to the inflationary cost pressures. Mm-hmm. So you'll see a lot of work being done by Jaguar, and I think in general in mining in companies on cost containment and inflation control. And one of the ways we can do that is also through productivity improvement. So that naturally comes as a key focus for the next 12 months as well.
Definitely. Well, I look forward to following the journey, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.